All right, y'all, today I'm going over to my buddy, just got to my buddy Tommy Ware's house. He's a big time fly fisherman, works for Ducks Unlimited. Actually, he's even guided over in Arkansas on the rivers over there. And he's helping me get set up for fly fishing. We're gonna be doing a lot of fly fishing this summer for redfish down here on the coast, probably go to Arkansas too. But hey, man, but we're gonna sit down and shoot some video.
Wait.
Talk about what you're tying up.
Just some jigs.
I got you. All right, stick with us.
If you've ever seen the sunrise on the bayou, or shared a tree stand with a gray squirrel in the fall, then you probably understand just who we are. We're the Southern Hood. We're the Southern Hood.
All right, I'm here with my buddy Tommy Ware. You know, a lot of us fish for redfish on the coast, just regular spinning reels, and that's fun. I like to do that, catch redfish. Anyway, any way you catch redfish is fun, right? But I guess for me, catching a redfish on a fly rod is even funner than just a regular spinning reel.
Yeah.
So I just actually started using a fly rod last year and caught my first redfish on a fly rod. I don't know, man. That's just like, this is the only way I prefer to catch redfish, if any way possible. How long you been like using a fly rod, or when did you get into using a fly rod for catching redfish?
Well, my dad bought my first fly rod. I was probably 11 or 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I started out bass fishing and brim fishing.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I did.
I don't know, truthfully, I don't know when I started on redfish. I mean, I grew up down here with a camp in Bay St. Louis, and sometime between
It started like, hey, I want to use a fly rod.
yeah, a long time ago.
Right?
That way, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I grew up using a fly rod for poppers and for perch and bass, going to creeks, and then got my first trip up in Montana, fly fishing in Yellowstone and everything. And I don't know why.
I can narrow it down. I mean, really, when I was young, I learned how to fly fish, but when I started, I guess you could say sport fishing more for redfish.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the fact where I'm not eating, where it's all CNR. I do keeping some fish. It probably wasn't till I was 18 or 19 before I really started pitching bugs and crabs at redfish with a fly rod. I mean, because when I was younger, it was just easier to hurl a
spinning reel
out there and fish on bottom or something, or popping cork and shrimp. It was just easier, and there wasn't that many people that actually in my area that fly fish. So you get 3 guys on a boat with spinning reels, kid-wise, or even some adults, and you got one guy with a fly rod.
Yeah, they're like,
accidents happen.
Right, yeah. So that's the only thing about fly fishing on a boat with a bunch of other folks is probably 2 guys with a fly rod. When it comes to fly rod, you can't have a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's kind of why I like it. I mean, even red fishing or trout fishing, it's you and the fish. When you're chunking crabs and clousers and minnows and shrimp on a fly, it's you and the fish at that point. So
right, yeah.
Or you and your buddy.
Yeah, one or 2 guys. Yeah,
it's good to have 2 guys.
Yeah, well, I caught my first redfish on a fly rod, and I actually just had gotten this old cheap Martin 9-weight rod with the cheapest reel. I mean, this reel is a junk. We're going to do a video on the difference between a $40 rod setup and a better, mid-level rod setup and I guess a higher end rod setup. But you can't redfish on any kind of cheap fly rod setup. But I took that thing out there and hooked up on a nice 18-inch redfish. If you go to my channel, there's a pretty cool video of that. And I was like, man, this is how I want to catch redfish, if any way possible. I mean, you can catch them with a jug and a trout line if you want to.
I've told people if you could move a beer can just right on top water, you could catch a redfish. But
right.
I wouldn't want to mislead anybody. I mean, it does matter what you're fishing with. But if you want to fish, by all means, don't think you have to go out there and buy $600-700 rod and a $500 fly reel.
Yeah. Just get something and get going.
I learned a long time ago. Really, a reel is jewelry. I would put more money into my rod. You hook up on a big redfish and you have a $40 rod. You better have like maybe 2 or 3 because they will break your rod. And if you don't have a backup, cheap or not, you're done. You might as well open your cooler and get you a cold drink. But you can fish with a cheap setup. I guarantee you, if you start catching fish with a cheap setup, it's like anything else. You want to go bigger and better. And when you decide that you are into the red fishing or whatever fish that you're doing on a fly, then of course spend some money, buy you a more expensive reel, buy you a better rod, because it is like anything else. I could take a $100 rod, and I could take like a Scott $800 rod, and there is a difference. It's one's a Volkswagen, one's a Cadillac, and you can feel it, and your presentation changes. So, but I wouldn't buy into the expensive gear right off the bat.
Nah.
You'd be crazy too.
Right.
See if you like it first.
All right. So, what's the basics for a rod as far as a redfish rod? I mean, I know obviously there's going to be a difference when weight between throwing little poppers and everything. You're going to need a heavier weight.
Well, if you're chunking big flies, it's good to have a heavier rod, like a 9-weight. You can buy reels that may say 7, 8, 9, or 4, 5, 6. Those are your line weight. So there are reels on the market that encompass 3 different line weights. When I do buy a reel like that, I always I'll top it out. If it's a 7, 8, 9, personally, I rig it up as a 9. So my rod's a 9-weight, my reel's a 9-weight, my line's a 9-weight. There's no need into underlining or overlining. I used to hear people say, well, I can build my line capacity. If I have a 9-weight and I say I bought a 7-weight, if I put 7-weight line on it, I'm putting more line on the spool. Well,
yeah, I guess
you might gain this much.
Right.
But keep it simple and 9-weight reel. So this 9-weight line, 9-weight rod.
All right. So this setup right here, what rod? This is
I think that's a St. Croix. That's a 9-weight.
I got you.
I don't have my glass. Well, sunglasses. I don't have my glass. I can't see a little writing, but
right.
That's a 9-weight. This is I think that's a 7, 8, 9 reel.
Yeah, reel. I got you. Right.
Yeah. So and it has 9-weight line on it.
Yeah.
And I use this. This is the setup you was talking about. This is a cheaper rod, and I have this reel on here with a wide spool. That's where I gain my line capacity. So I gain my line capacity by putting the full spool of backing on here. You know.
Yeah.
So really, your fly line, which is this floating line here, that line is only going to be so long.
Yeah.
You know.
Right on. Well, I know one thing, a big difference for real redfish is, flies are a little, you can use a lot of different flies for redfish. So, what are some of the basic flies though? What do you got?
An all around saltwater fly. It's kind of like the woolly booger is a freshwater all around fly that's going to work. Depending on what you want to do, you have like crab flies, things that imitate grass shrimp, bait fish, things that are weighted. We talked before about fishing over the top of redfish. I think a red fisherman's biggest mistake is not getting the fly to a redfish. So something weighted like this crab here, you'll see the lead or the dumbbell eyes on them. You drop these down, and if that fish has got his face in the mud and he sees the mud kicking up, or you pull that in front of him, he's going to nail it. So kind of redfish are kind of like trout in a way. You can match a hatch or match a bait fish run or something like that, but if they're facing the mud and their tails are up and you pull a streamer over the top of them, chances are they might not even see it. So you want to put that in their face. Sometimes when you're real shallow, you can get rid, and I'm not sure if here's something here that's not weighted. This imitates like a cockahoe. It's not weighted. It's really light. I've seen redfish in 2 feet of water. It's gin clear. You chunk a crab in there on top of him, and he spooks and he's gone. But if you present this, has no weight in it, and it hits that water pretty delicate, and you zip that across in front of him, he's not spooked. He looks at it like a shrimp or a cockahoe, and he's going to nail it. So slapping the water with flies sometimes can hurt you. You can do top water. These top water gurglers are pretty awesome. Got another fly called a crease fly. And you're going to know it when the redfish are hitting top. Things like this, these are really good for redfish. And here's another shrimp pattern. This is a top water also. The redfish love those. They're like bass. Certain times of the year, they're looking up and they're in predator mode, and they will bust anything on the top of the water. You can catch speckled trout with these top water plugs, redfish, jack crevalle. You better not have a cheap rod when you hook up on the jack crevalle, though. So,
Right.
You might want to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's thousands and thousands of different types of flies that you can fish with. Confidence fly. I love confidence flies. Clousers and crabs are really my confidence flies. And what I mean by that, I could go anywhere and put those two on in the salt water, and I feel like I can be productive and I can catch fish with them. This is an example of a clouser here. So that is a clouser fly, and I think that's probably one of my number one flies that I like to fish with.
Yeah, I tied some up with.
Yeah, because whether or not redfish are eating crabs or anything, this is a weighted fly, and you can put this on the bottom, and you can run these deep and adjust the depth by your retrieve, and fish is in there, they're going to hit it.
Yeah. Right on. Well, that's cool. Yeah, started getting into tying redfish flies. I grew up, spent a lot of time tying flies for poppers and everything, but cool thing I guess about redfish, you can be kind of creative with tying your flies. We're going to try to do a video on
colors, man. Colors. People ask me about colors on occasion. Olive drab, brown.
Right.
If you can tie a crab that's olive drab color, very little flash in it, brown, and maybe put some gold tinsel in it, or even tie a rattle in there.
Yeah. Huh.
You can keep dull colors. Redfish.
Yes, you don't have.
Are fine with those blacks. Blacks is really good for redfish because a lot of times you're fishing stained water, and it's just something about black.
Yeah.
And green.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I was using them trout streamer woolly burgers when I was catching my black with olive, really, really dark olive with some flashing in there, catching redfish on that. So, yep. Well, I mean, I know fly fishing is kind of like bow hunting. You know, sometimes you just, for me, that's the way it is. It's like, it's fun to gun hunt, but I feel it's a more challenge to bow hunt. It's fun just to spin and reel, catch redfish, but I like catching a redfish on a fly rod more. For me, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I have my days. Like, I'm not a purist.
Oh no, I'm not pure. Dude, I go throw a jug with strings tied out to catch some fish now.
You know, you got guys that are purists.
Pure,
I don't catch nothing but, redfish on the fly. I don't
Right.
fish nothing that
Yeah.
well.
Whatever.
Depends on how hungry I am.
Yeah. Well, and if it's super windy, or if it's like, I'm trying to I need to cast a long ways. I just reach over and grab my regular spinning reel and chunk it way over there, man.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So yeah, just I mean, it's really about having fun. For me, it's just about having fun. But
I got my meat haul days.
Yeah.
But then more often than not, I'm on the front of my skiff and I'm looking for fish. I'm hunting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm hunting more with a
Your
fly
fly
rod than I am with a popping cork and a shrimp.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to see the fish,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to cast to a fish that I can see.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
And fly fishing for redfish, and when it comes together, and their eats are awesome.
Oh yeah, man. Redfish on a fly rod is one of the funnest for me.
Yeah, I like catching jacks too.
Yeah.
But
Anything, but yeah,
shark
redfish
fun.
is my favorite for sure. So, well, if you ever thought about trying to catch a redfish on a fly rod, just get you set up. You can go to this Bass Pro's got everything from intermediate to high end, and then figure out what you want. Really, huh?
Yeah, we talked earlier, and this was off camera about your choice in line.
Yeah.
You got streamer fishermen that are straight up sinking tip. I fish weight forward floating,
That's what I got.
and then I can buy butt sections of sinking tip if I want to get something down faster in deeper water.
Yeah.
But for the most part, weight forward floating line,
Yeah.
20 pound, 2-3 feet of 20 to 30 pound butt section on there, and then take it down. You can run a straight piece, or you can even take it down. If you have a 20, you can take it to a 15 and then tie on, or you could run a straight 20 about 4. And if you're pulling a streamer, shorten it up.
Yeah.
Because you're moving that fly, and that fly skirting through there. It's not so much a visual thing as far as a fish being line shy at that point. I mean, if you're pulling a streamer, you're targeting fish that they're ready to kick some tail,
Yeah.
and they're hungry and they're chasing. With a crab, you can tie your sections down and drop a crab in there, and you pull him on the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a line shy redfish.
Yeah. It's not,
But I've had other saltwater species like Dorado or Mai
might be me sitting a little more spooky.
that's been really line shy.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Well, I know Tommy and I are going to be getting together and doing some redfish fly fishing for some redfish. So hopefully those videos will be coming out soon. If it will ever stop blowing. It was gusting 30 miles an hour today.
Yeah, it's killing me.
I think everybody on the Gulf Coast is tired of the wind and the rain, man.
Yeah, the water.
The water's messed up.
You can hunt for clean water. I mean, you can redfish in dirty water with a shrimp.
Oh yeah.
But I get depressed when the water's dirty. I want to see clean water. I want to see fish.
Well, today it's gusting 30 miles an hour out there. This morning it was ripping. So yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this video. But hey, check out the rest of the videos. We're gonna be putting together some stuff on fly tying and a little bit more on casting and everything like that, and doing some fly fishing this summer. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. Well, if they want to check you out, I know you're on Instagram, Tommy. Where can folks check out some of your Instagram stuff? I know you got some really cool photography.
Tommy on the fly.
Tommy on the fly on Instagram.
Between each word has a underscore.
I got you, but they probably type Tommy on the fly. It'll probably pop up.
probably.
Yeah, pop up. Yeah, so do me a favor, go over there and like it. What is that on Instagram? Follow, like, subscribe, whatever that is. And do me a favor.
Just like.
Yeah, there
Just
you go.
like.
Like, all right, yeah, exactly. And hey, do me a favor, guys. Give me a thumbs up on the video. Hit subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. We're going to be getting together. In fact, hopefully, we're going to go do some fly fishing tomorrow. Tie up some flies and go do some fly fishing tomorrow.
If we can find some.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy weather.
Yep. I think it's going to lay down. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks for watching, guys. And remember, it's just better down here, y'all. Hey y'all, do me a favor and go to thesouthernhood.com to check out all my shirts, hats, and other products I've got online for sale. Hey, I appreciate it. Remember, it's just better down here, y'all.